These are the second most versatile piece of equipment that you can buy for your kitchen. The first one being a combi oven, which that'll be in a separate video. Really just think about a tilt skillet as a griddle with sides. They have a couple different names. I've heard braising pan, which personally I don't use just because it kind of pigeonholes you into just braising, even though that's what we're doing today. So you'll see that we're still using the easy touch screen here on the Cleveland skillets right now. So here, all I'm doing is I've got it preheated 350 degrees. And if you notice, my time right here has 4 lines across. And all that means is that it's running infinite. So if we want to program some menu items, or if we want to replicate it, or if we have multiple locations, we have the ability to program and then transfer those recipes via USB. We have our built-in probe right here. So once you put the probe in the socket, you now can run the entire tilt skillet off the product temperature based on the probe reading. And then of course you have your drain drawer below. Very important to have a tangent draw off. And the other very important thing is making for sure that's closed before you start cooking, especially when you're talking about things like red sauce. Because if that's open, whatever goes in here is coming straight out of there. And when it comes to cleaning too, because all you're really gonna do for cleaning is a very mild soap. I always tell everybody, whatever you're comfortable with getting on your hands is the soap that I would use to clean this. And I kind of treat it a little bit like a cast iron skillet, if you will. So at the end of the night, the only difference is I will use soap in this, dry it out, and then I apply a nice little thin layer of oil on it just so you don't get any surface rust if it's going to sit for a while. Your tilt mechanisms right here. We also have power pan modules, which you can use a hand crank in our larger series, or they actually have an automatic tilt skillet where you actually can press a button and it will automatically tilt the skillet up and towards you. The other thing to pay attention to is your pour path. As this rises, your pour path changes. So if you were just to flip that up, obviously this lip is going to kind of go down, so you don't want to chase it. They actually sell hangers to actually put hotel pans below. So as you lift, it extracts the product directly into the pan that you're going to serve in or hold in or chill in, whatever it may be. Without further ado, we'll get started. We just cubed up our steak, a little bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of flour, and then we're going to just simply brown this off. I'm not going to bore you folks with watching beef brown. We're going to pull the beef out. We're going to throw our vegetables in, get a little bit of color on our veg, and then we're going to add in our tomato sauce. We'll glaze with some red wine, and then add our beef stock, lid it, let it braise. Once this comes up to a boil, I'll then stop it, drop my temperature down to like 250, 275, and then just set the timer for 60 minutes and call it a day. I will make soups, I will make stocks in here, but if I also have a kettle, I will use a kettle for my soups, sauces, stocks. Can I do it in here? Absolutely. The biggest difference between a kettle and a skillet is temperature. Well, a kettle, really, you're not going to get a whole lot of browning unless you go to, that's a different conversation for a different time. But your surface temperature on these can go over 400 degrees. If you need to boil water in a hurry, this is obviously going to be a lot faster, even compared to a traditional 4-burner range on the stovetop. So when you're talking about capacity, I wish that there was a perfect formula. It'd definitely make our life a lot easier. You're asking, is it by seats? Is it by beds in a hospital? Is it by, number of banquet rooms in a hotel? Unfortunately, there are no perfect answers for that. But understanding, first of all, what are you going to do out of there? I kind of go backwards. I always start with what is the final product going to be, right? What are you going to be serving? Are you just going to be doing hotel pans full of food? Well, then you'll probably need something with a larger volume. If you're doing banquets, you're going to need a much larger, not only cooking surface, but volume as well. If I'm just using this right here, I could use this for any restaurant from obviously 60 seats all the way up to probably 200, depending on what I do out of there. And if this was one of my primary cooking vessels, which every piece of equipment has a split personality, right? What's it doing during prep hours and what's it doing during production hours? Those are sometimes, most of the time, 2 different things. So what we'll do a lot of times is during prep, this is what you're gonna see. Obviously, we're not doing, braised beef to order. So you're doing all this ahead of time during, prep hours, and then during production hours, it can be doing things a lot higher temperature, faster, a la minute. But again, if you're doing a ton of catering, banqueting, again, high volume, you'll probably need multiple, maybe up to 30, 40 gallon size. This is only a 10. So you're gonna be a lot faster. Obviously, this works just like putting a lid down on your sauce pot on the stovetop. Very simple, very straightforward, extremely versatile.